when it comes to clears, and a lot of these entry style agents here, you go ahead, walk in, you're gonna go ahead flashbang, especially when you have the ulti up. The Rolling Thunder is very, very useful in clearing out, especially in a map like, in my opinion, Fracture. There's so many different angles, for the defenders. You're rocking out with, from the center splitting out, but for the attackers, you have so many different angles to get to work with that are all fairly narrow. So I want to see that Breach used to perfection. I want to see it handled very, very well. I want to see these teams break out the standardization. Of course, on the other side, Tonka, they're rocking with a bit of a difference, right? The Neon, of course, this one could be a very, very flashy one. So I'm excited to see what Chroma can unleash, because out of that one, I believe those are the only two agents that are specifically different. I think in the Jet and the Neon, I think we're looking at one more difference as well. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Raze versus Sky. So the extra duelist versus the extra initiator. Another conversation about this series. Not only is it a series to win the Central Conference, it is also a series to make it to Kansas City. Winner of this goes to the HSEL Finals in Kansas City between May 19th and 20th. I know Orbital's going to be there. I, unfortunately, will not be, so you don't get to see me. But you do get to meet Orbital. At least one of the two Daniels on this cast. And you get to see one of these two squads as well if you want to head out there. One of these two teams will be joining you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You get the lesser Daniel that you get to meet in person, but someday you'll get to get to meet Time to Light. As we do open things up, Fanta next just launches into a tirade with the frenzy, lights up too, and we see why Tonka Varsity are considered the second seed. Very stalwart defense, especially since the early aggression from NTHS could have led to some value, but it was a full side press. They just all charged in, and it didn't work out. So now they're hard rotating over to this B site.
The problem is the rotation's already here. They think it's an open site, but they walk straight into a trap. Shokumen able to find the kill with their turret to close out the round. And I have to say, a pretty clean round, all things considered, for Tonka. It was a full rush from NTHS, and they meet a brick wall. That brick wall's name is Phantom X.
It's nice to also have, especially if you're Tonka Varsity, anytime that you take a round and you are able to make it flawless, you deny a lot of value to the opponent. You deny a lot of the ult charges. You also deny a lot of econ. So maybe some of those fractional, marginal options that you have, hey, a little extra util here and there, it's not going to be bought up. So NTHS, they're not going to buy up at all. You're going to be sitting with very few ult charges, looking at around 3, I want to say, round 4, actually, if you don't get any kills here. It's going to be rough for them.
Walking straight to Chroma. I don't know if they're going to note the Neon here, who should be able to back away with their live. Fast lane used. Jumbo My Mumbo is still sitting here. A note to Mumbo Jumbo, the old Minecraft YouTuber, if anybody used to watch him. I did. Super cool dude. Was mainly in Redstone. Fun fact for all of you. Anyway, NTHS still have a problem getting over towards the safe side. They tried from Dish this time around, and it was fairly unsuccessful, losing a player and a half, including HP. Chroma, I don't know if they're going to be able to spot out the pistol-wielding Jetstream, though, as they just walk in. Nope, timing. Chroma's like, wait a second, that's a person! And then kill him.
That's not part of the terrain. What's going on here? This ain't part of the wall. This is weird. It's a very nice shot, though. NTHS, of course, this was a round that they were slated to lose. The unfortunate value, of course, is you might not even get a gun out of it. You always want to at least take a little bit of the econ off of the opponent. But at this point, you're playing for time. You're playing things extremely slow, and you do get an ult orb. That's just, I think, the second one out of the 2 rounds for NTHS. But this is going to be a hard clothesline. It's 3 members left, 25 seconds left, and Tonka Varsity are looking prime to deny this plant.
It's seeming like a fairly clean setup again for Tonka as well. They are not playing over aggressive, and Red's walking straight through, is caught with the alarm bot and put out of position. A follow-up is there from 1UP, who is able to pick up a Spectre as well. The problem is they're still walking in to Jumbo My Mumbo. Maybe not a Redstone aficionado, but certainly a utility aficionado as they bring in the Killjoy and another kill for Tonka Varsity, coupling that with the round itself.
Just too nice. Feels great for them. Again, getting those nice little setups. Of course, 1UP was able to grab at least 1 kill, but that's the only one so far. So a 1-to-2 ratio and then a 1-10 between the entirety of the team. This time around, though, you're rocking with the Phantoms. Way easier to get the kills. Chocoman is also running with only a classic, so saving up for the rest of the round. This should be the round that NTHS are able to bounce back in standard fashion, and then we may get to see gun rounds come out in the 4th. So only time will tell as Tonka are spread out in a 3-2 pattern, as this is an A-side shift for the rest of the team.
Another round in which they're trying to favor this A side as well. There's a lot of utility here that they will have to contend with, and that's a problem. If they cannot pick up an opening duel in their favor, even on the being setup as Jumbo My Mumbo picks up the opening duel, that's a problem for NTHS. Swing back, they will bring at least one kill the other way, so a 4 versus 4 as things settle. But Tonka's happy with that. With lesser weaponry, trades as a round continues always favor the team with lesser weaponry. So less players, the better off the lesser off team is.
And it feels great getting those kills and always feeling like, hey, we can do more with less. And honestly, you have to be proud of yourselves as well. The fact that you're 2-0 and you're only working with some, specters in hand. The fact that NTHS are taking this slowly and are unsure of where they really want to move. I think yields facts that Tonka Varsity are a strong team. NTHS, they know they have the gun advantage. There is no chance in heck that they don't have the gun advantage, and yet they're playing this one slow, and now denied by the Nano Swarms. This is Tonka Varsity playing for the time and going to force the rest of NTHS into a weird position, but that's going to be a trade back. It's now down to a 3v1 like they wanted. And Tonka Varsity, Smoothler, only one going to be alive, 26 HP, going to try and make something happen.
Has seen Reds, but they shouldn't have all that much of an opportunity back into this round. 26 health and a 1 versus 3 with just a Spectre. Not the easiest of clutch scenarios, but I gotta say, Orbital, I've never seen him lose these. I've also never seen him play in these, so we'll see how things end up. Shots do find a headshot onto Reds, but an inconsequential one. Reds will find a kill back, and NTHS do indeed deny the bonus for Tonka.
Well, that's the standard. That's how early Valorant is supposed to go. 3 rounds done. Now we get the guns. This is what it's all about. And surprisingly enough, it is going to be NTHS, NT High School, I believe, coming out here, and they're going to be rocking with the ultis. The first ones to actually hit ult charges is going to be the Rolling Thunder as well as the Orbital Strike. And those should be 2 big ticket items as well. Tonka Varsity working with a little bit lower end side. But this is going to be big. If NTHS Esports are able to win this round with only expending 1 ulti, I think that's going to be huge for them.
Right there.
Tonka's looking to play a little bit more patient this time around, knowing that NTHS has the weaponry just as they do. And NTHS now trying to bring things back. They will throw the Rolling Thunder onto the site, of which is completely vacant. And Tonka, their strategy is disengage and play for a retake. Make sure that an overusage of ultimates comes through. Now, granted, Guani does have that Orbital Strike available, so your namesake there, Daniel, may cost Tonka the round.
I mean, your namesake right there, the lights are flashing in front of their eyes as Tonka are completely blocked out. And now they're just going to rush. Fantanex around the corner, though, gets 2! Almost a collide, if you will. Jetstream wins that one out. That was a powerful blow. Tonka Varsity stunned a little bit, stuck inside the smoke. Wondering how the heck they play this one, but, I mean, Chroma was locked into a difficult spot to begin with. And down once again into a 3v1. Chroma sprints a little bit onto that spike and is now dead. Shadow eats that one up, and it's now tied at 2-2.
And they're happy to play that round the way they did on the NTHS side. Jetstream playing this corner, they tripled up on the main side, and that was a courtesy clear. You can see Fantanex looked into the corner, but I've been saying this forever. You can look into the corner just to do it, but unless you look into the corner with the intention of shooting if you see somebody, you're not going to find the kill. You can see Fantanex looked away, and then by the time they looked back, they were already dead. The headshot found, the follow-up onto Jumbo My Mumbo, and just like that, NTHS win the first full gun round. And Tonka, they're not broke, but they're certainly not any rich players either.
It's it's a difficult one. You got to swallow your pride, even though you want to try and fight it out. But you do have the ulti, so of course this Neon could do some work. And THS though sees a little bit of a sheriff play or a little bit of a marshal play, and is now going to run back to the rest of the team. And NTHS wondering where they want to go here. Reds hiding in the corner with a shorty. And Guani gets the plan down, so Tonka Varsity still stuck in this narrow corridor. Unsure of how they want to proceed through. They need to make it into Link. They need to make it past, and if not, this will be dangerous.
Good flash over. Jetstream only finds 1 though with the Nano Swarm, and that shouldn't be enough for Tonka. The swing off the back of the fault line, but the fault line misses. Schmoogler, false sense of security for them as they swing 1 up, not being cleared on the top side of the site, and that's the round. Fantanex has a stinger. Regardless of their combat stim, it's not going to matter. They're going to swing either straight to their death or straight to a double swing itself. Fault line will land, as will the shots from Shadow, with 3K for the Rays, and NTHS with 3 rounds in a row.
Very of a kind. Very nice to pick up there, and NTHS looking good here, and we can definitely see the reason that these two were going neck and neck, I was very interested. I wanted to see the exact scores that came out each round. And I wouldn't be surprised to see these teams basically keeping pace all the way through the first half, ending maybe in a 6-6 or 7-5. And really just pushing the envelope here. I like it so far. These two teams battling it out as much as possible. Choco Mint, though, this is now the third time in a row, I believe, that they have held this exact site. And I always say, if you're a Killjoy, I always prefer watching players try and dance around to different sides. Keep the rest of your opponent kind of guessing as to where that util will be.
Early orbital strike used, doesn't find all that much. Chocomit's still happy to just play on the site though. And again, Tonka are playing a little bit more disengaged from early round engagements, but they are still holding the real estate required. So decent early round engagements still for this defensive side. But the problem is, if you can't find those early round engagements, later rounds may cost you if you don't have as many players on a site. Jumbo waiting in towards this canteen again, just patiently awaiting the swing to come through. They're trying to play a bait setup with their teammates, and one up finds one. They need to swing though. Jumbo takes a little bit too long, and because of it, Jetstream's able to look in their direction and find the kill back. Reds with a double, able to readjust onto Phantom X, and that may very well end up being the round. Chocomint, the last one alive, will fall to the operator of Guani. Because Brimstone operators. Yes.
It's listen, it might not have to be pretty, but it works, right? That's what we're gonna say there. It's as long as you got the op, it feels good, and Reds was able to clean it as well with the Phantom. And this timeout is very, very important because NT, this squad, this is their map pick. This is the map that they decided to go for, and they are hoping to make work. So far, it's pretty standard. They are up about 4 rounds in a row. But Tonka Varsity, they've struggled after the first two to really find some sort of purchase, and you can see here. And the first 2 rounds looked good, and then it all kind of fell apart in their first actual gun round. And NT have just looked that much better from start to finish, finding those angles, finding those crevices, and finding Tonka Varsity unawares. This has been a masterclass. So for NT, it really is just going to be, can you continue this even pace? Can you continue this style of locking Tonka Varsity out for as long as you're on the attack?
And I think the real tone-setting set of, well, engagements was that 4th round, where it was a full gun round, and Jetstream was just sitting on that main box waiting for the walk-in, and then finds a double kill. If Jetstream dies there, it goes from, instead being a 3v2 as it was, to a 4v2 for Tonka on a retake of a site where they have utility advantage. It basically would have been their round, because there was very little utility left over on that attacking side, and that would have made them up, what, 3-1 with more and more momentum. Now, instead, they're down 4-2, and NTHS isn't done with their advantage just yet. They are still playing for what they have gained in prior rounds, and it's working perfectly for them. However, we are seeing some switches from Tonka. Instead, they're rotating their Killjoy over towards this B side, playing a lot more utility on that half, trying to limit the damage that can be done by NTHS.
And it always does surprise me because normally if a Killjoy sets up in one location, you are going to send a majority share of your team to another and try and work it out. Of course, you do have that floater in the mid, but they're currently circling around the Lincoln generator area, so not too crazy. And for NTHS, they know it's another gun round. Or not a gun round, I believe this is actually one of the rougher saves. Yeah, you can see it there, the Stingers and the Spectres coming out here. It's going to be a 4-1. This is going to be interesting.
Odd position for Jumbo to be in. If they can swing this and find an opening kill, they're in a good spot. But with the site now found, Tonka is still going to play for this B side, but NTHS is just going to back away. Well, they're going to audibly back away and then return like they never left. An odd position, honestly, for both teams to be in, because NTHS still wants to take this B side, but Tonka is still expecting a B-sided hit. At least they were until that rotation came away from Phantom X, and now they're going right back the other way. This has to be an opener for Tonka, or they're going to drop the round, and Choco finds at least one, but they clear the site and are now going to get a spike plant, unless Jumbo is just sitting on the backside of default. So close, yet so far. That's the round.
And Reds was ready for it as well, so very, very solid. NTHS only losing 1 in that entire engage, and so far they have started to stack the creds. You can see it there. It is almost everyone, I believe, above 6.5, and on the other, Tonka Varsity, they've now dropped 5 in a row. You dropped 1 that was standard, that's the 3rd round, but the last 4 have really been on the top of their heads. They've struggled to find those right spots to take pot shots, and Tonka have not figured out the angles, so This is feeling like one of those map diff scenarios that you better learn on the fly how to find these opponents or they're going to eat you alive.
Odd position as well for Tonka to be in because they are repeatedly half buying after a full buy and then rinse and repeat. But NTHS is happy to just play for a little bit longer engagements. When they take a site, they make sure they keep an arm's length. They're socially distancing themselves from the defense just to make sure they have a better opportunity to take a gunfight in their favor. And it's worked out on a consistent basis. That adjustment between rounds 1 and 2 and then 3 through 7 has set them up so well. Now, Lockdown being used over towards this B side, but it seems like they want to go over towards A. It's a complete dupe, and it's working. The only person over towards this A side is Chroma, who has a Vandal and may be able to catch off both players here. Red swings and immediately finds the opening kill, but the rotation's already come through. Tonka has made the adjustment, but they still need to be able to find the frags.
That's going to be the most difficult part. That's a double rocket out, and you don't really get any damage from it, but it's enough to cause a dispersion. Guani is ready, though, in the back lines, with the operator going to take 2 pot shots. That's 2. Down to a 3v2, 2v2. Jumbo and Chaco able to line up the kill feed, and Tonka just need one more. That's going to be the Seekers annihilated by 1. Rest of the team is going to bounce out, and they say, no worries. Right now, NTHS wondering how they can come back from this. 1 player alive with the spike and up. You can do it. It's possible. But it's going to be a problem. They need to get the kills first. Oh, couple shots. Roam out. Guani doesn't know where they are. That is too heavily split.
On the walk-in, now perfectly timed. Jumbo's going to find the freest kill of their collegiate or high school Valorant career. And Tonka able to win the round off the back of it. Very well set up on the re-engagement from Tonka as well. You can see with the showstopper missing, no kill was found. Yeah, trades went back and forth, but Tonka as a whole just played for 1-for-1s. And as soon as it came down to 2 versus 1, they backed away and played it as a team. I think the most important round, or part of the round, was the Trailblazer landing, finding guaranteed information, and forcing Gawani off that angle. When a stun lands onto a scoped player, they're forced out of the ADS. And just like that, the swing came through, Tonka had the real estate to work with, and subsequently the round.
It was so good. Just clean play, very, very mechanical, very simplistic. I guess that's the best way that I would put it. It's by the book all the way through. And Chroma now sneaking up, trying to find a lucky shot onto NT. And you see it, the body shot is just too good. Shadow tried to peek afterwards, but it's not going to work. Very, very nice first blood to kick things off for Tonka Varsity.
Happy to open things up and back away. That's been their play style thus far, and it's finally started to work. Rolling Thunder goes straight through, only finds 1 player inside a tower, but that should be good enough. Chocomet needs a headshot and will not be able to find it. A follow-up onto Chroma, and that's the site falling. The only control now is Jumbo My Mumbo playing on the backside of this Radiant box, but they're able to swing to deny that spike plant. They're also able to disengage with health remaining, and that's a good trade for Tonka. They drop the spike and don't lose a player.
Perfectly done, and now it's going to be Schmoogler, though. Schmoogler able to get one, but one up some. Fantanex able to make it a 1v1. What an extensive trade. And with all the blood on B's site, no one wants anything more to do with it. Jetstream is going to jet their way over to A. But are they going to get caught? That's the big question. Go high, go low. Where do you want to go? It's on low. It's just out in the open. Going to try and bait out that defuse.
Walk across the Jetstream! What is that flick? I thought Fantanex had him dead to rights. 2 bullets from death. And yet Jetstream able to just glide their way on victory. Chroma even finding the opener. But NTHS, they retake with a vengeance and walk away around victory because of it.
Just well fought here and there. And then there was that double up by 1 up. Really, really nice. And that scares me, right? Again, NTHS, they've had, I believe, at least 2 rounds where it's felt like one of those miracle moments where you're just like, okay, that really shouldn't happen, but it does. And they're wiping their brows for it. You know, the second one was that double kill right there. So for right now, NTHS, they're going to try and go for extra. They already have 6, which is great, but they want more. They want to find 2 or 3 more rounds. If you have 2 or 3 more rounds, you feel very, very secure in your half.
6-6 would be probably best case scenario here for Tonka. I mean, obviously. But they wouldn't expect all that much more considering the start. I mean, pistol and conversion round's good, but just playing patiently over towards this A side. I do think they've been heard after that jump, which could be a problem. Also, the walk-in through the door, if they even try that, they're going to be met by 2 separate weapons, Jumbo and Brugler, I believe. Odd position, especially for NTH. I want to try and push it on this A side because it looks like they want to be through that door. Schmoogler, to be specific. My apologies.
Why are you getting their name wrong? Like what?
I
what's
know,
wrong with
right?
you?
Come on.
Why would you do that? That's so mean. It's not like I've probably been mispronouncing Guani's name the entire time.
30 seconds left.
I just been wrecking it. But that's going to be the shorty. Taking some shots out. Shadow and Reds, though, go skeet shooting and find 3. Tonka, I mean, they weren't exactly supposed to win this one, but you're going to hope that you can at least take 1 or 2 bodies with you.
Oh, they've easily got this. Again, never seen them lose this. Well, Schmoogler loses that fight. Judge, not really a best weapon to have at medium range, and shats down Chocomet. And NTHS pick up a 7th round. Their attacking side looking much better than I thought would originally indicate, considering the opening 2 rounds, but ever since the bonus, they've looked about as clean as ever.
It's been thorough as well. It's been very stalwart in how they want to keep moving forward, and there are no errors. Again, this is their map pick. They should know the attack like the back of their hand. It really is just trying to create a much larger gap between them and Tonka Varsity, because again, NTHS are the ones that have to win 1 more if they want a chance at a 3rd game, if they want a chance at going into that champions bracket in Kansas City later on in a couple weeks. They want to make a good show of it. For right now, they're the ones actually waiting for the Hunters to come around the corner. So good.
That's an opener. And look, Jumbo My Mumbo has to fully disengage. There should also be a sound cue, considering Jumbo took damage from that set of paint shells. So Tonka has a lot of, well, lackluster information to start things off. Good guiding light around the corner, but Shadow quickly backs away and is able to just quickly re-swing if they want to. And they will. They'll be able to take care of that Trailblazer and retake this position. NTHS has been so good at worrying about their flanks and not having, long term, to worry about those actual flanks setting through. This time, with a lockdown being used, seems like Chocomet wants to respond, but instead they'll just fully disengage. And contrary to what we saw in previous rounds where the lockdown was put in sewers, instead it looks like NTHS just wants to go, and they'll be able to do so because there's nobody in the general vicinity.
2 free. 2 free is all that is, so plant goes down, as you were saying, and 4v5 Tonka Varsity, they got to make something happen here. They have the guns. This is now their 3rd gun round, I think. And it's been a tough one, so see what they can do. A little bit of a blind, a little bit of a stun out. With the swarms down, this is going to be a tap on the spike once again. And around the corner, in tree. Not going to find it. Red finds 1, and Reds and Jesse just clean it out. Are you kidding me? The burn through by NTHS wins them an 8.
Again, they're just walking straight through. They were confidently able to take those trades as well. Jetstream, I think most importantly, walking through main, ready for if anybody was on the spike or directly around it, ended up finding both of those kills. And Red's aware of the fact that there were still 4 players alive. Originally took the engagements from the arcade side. So instead of trying to play aggressive, they instead played patiently around the first smoke, took the first kill, and then swung for a second with the player looking the wrong way, specifically towards tower. They were able to find the kill off the back of it. Tonka had 3 players to watch 5 angles, and, well, they died from 2 of them. Actually, ironically enough, the 2 they were watching.
That always hurts to hear. We did what we were supposed to, and yet still got killed for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels bad. 2v3, though. A little bit of a split now rotating with the rest of the team. NTHS are not taking any chances. They're going to go ahead and work together to try and angle their way over to this ace site. They tried this last time. I think it worked quite well. I mean, all you really want to do is get this last round. You want to put it at a 9-3 half and happily make your way into game number 3. In goes a little bit of a showstopper once again. Shadow not finding anyone as it's Tonka Varsity. That said, we are opting for a full man retake. All 5 members still up against 5 of NTHS.
Chroma's walking in. They still have the melee weapon out. The walk through, though. Judge finds 1. Looking for a second, won't find it, but that's a lot of information. All 4 players are around Dish. There should be utility on top of the spike, and there is. But how much utility is left over after that? A paint shell is available, should they want to use it. The tap of the spike and the walk through right after. A 1-for-1 trade at a bare minimum, and the paint shells have missed. That should be the round, and it is indeed. Perfect setup from Tonka. Wait for them to find information, and find the round. 8-4 at the split, as Tonka Varsity at least bring 1 back.
And it's crazy to me that that's the way they did it, right? It wasn't
Honestly.
due to some very, very early gunfights or anything like that. It was just a clean retake. It was a very, very smart retake as well. And now NTHS have to figure out how they want to defend against Tonka, because of course they've had that first taste earlier on in game 1 that we were not able to see. Let's see what NTHS are able to do. A lot of extra bits of utility kind of tossed around this B site once again. That's night number 1. Let's see if they still got it in them. Tonka took the first 2 before. Let's see if they can do it again. Push to a 6-8.
Pistol round, basically a requisite for Tonka. I think if they lose this, they probably lose the map soon after. Chroma looking for an opening kill, but there is a second player here, and they should die to him. Yeah, Reds finds an opener, a follow-up as well. Neither Schmoogler nor Chroma thought to check the close corner, and that should be the round itself. 3v5s easily dropped, but Jumbo makes sure that is indeed the case. A follow-up from Fantanex on the door, and the A site has fallen. A follow-up spike plant should come through, and now it's the man advantage back for Tonka.
Welcome to we aren't sure exactly what's going on here. That's all it really is. And Jumbo hears some footsteps. I think at least one. You can see it now. They jump down. That's just a right click to death and make it 2. That's a 4K for Jumbo. Saying, watch my mumbo cause you some pain. Well done by Tonka Varsity.
Opening did not even go their way. It was the split that worked perfectly for them. That was the odd setup. In pistol rounds, usually you see teams join up, and that's exactly what happened to NTHS. You could see them set up inside of main, but with Jumbo doubled up inside of Dish, that's what opened things back for Tonka, and them being able to flex back the other way in towards ropes, finds another double, quad on the round, and Tonka finds a pistol. The requisite pistol round victory does indeed become a pistol round victory.
I like how it's just like, that's the obvious answer. I don't know what else was going to happen there. It felt very obvious. It was just, that's it. For right now, though, Tonka Varsity are actually getting pinched. This is a very hard push by NTHS. And a surprising setup. Again, with Classics, I mean, I understand it, but it works on one. Shadow, able to find one before falling, but Fantanex and Schmoogler say, that's it. We knew something was going to be cheesed, and NTHS, they do have to pay for it. This is understood. But I like the attempt. I do like the attempt from NT.
That stream's about to walk in here, and yeah, should quickly die. Schmoogler finds that kill, and that's the round. Spike plan will come through, some extra credits for Tonka, and Guani, what's the call here? Do you just die to the spike and get your extra 1,000 credits? Do you die to the opposing team and give them an extra 300 credits while gaining the 1,000 of your own? It's the real Valorant player's conundrum, I suppose. I don't know. This is
that the Valorant paradox? Is that what we're saying now?
That's got to be the Valorant paradox. Should I die or should I save?
I feel it depends on how big your ego is, right?
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's heavily dependent
on the ego.
Well, let's see how large Guani's ego is. Do they just die to the spike? It seems to be the case. They're just going to die to the spike, make sure that no extra credits for Tonka. Pretty well set up. Overall, not a bad round at all for THS. And they knew they were being watched as well.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man. Oh, and
oh
no.
Did someone
that
toss
happened.
it off?
Yeah, I think so.
That feels so bad. Don't juggle your gun, by the way. I think that's what happened. They were trying to juggle, and it just went off the edge. So, very nice start, though, to Tonka Varsity. They started out with 2 once again. And keep in mind, this is the exact same start that they had in the first half. So, Tonka, yes, they are up 1, but you don't want to go to a Game 3. No one wants to go to a Game 3. Even in a finals, you want to start your run back here. And one of the best ways, yes, you could just go standard and do a 2-1 start to the half. But I want to see them get cheesy. I want to see them get silly and try and draw a third out, and it looks like they're going to do so. 5 stack up here, over here on Arcade, and it's going to be a bully moment, a hard chase forward, and the rest of NTHS have to back away.
What position for Tonka to now be in as well? Because they have the lesser weaponry, considering it's a bonus, they wanted to try and play aggressive and catch NTHS off guard, but as soon as they realize that they don't have the advantage anymore, they disengage. The proper thing is they're doing so quickly, the lack of utility on this NTHS side could come back to bite them. Jetstream is left alone and caught inside of that Sky Smoke. The alarm bot was put down, should be able to be taken care of, but Chroma at least turns 1 kill back, retrieves a rifle, and disengages fully. But the problem is Red's already prepped up on ropes, brings 1 kill back, and the man advantage for NTHS.
Feeling quite good, but Schmoogler is able to find 1, and Guani and 1UP say we'll take one apiece. It's down to 1v3. We've seen this song and dance before. And I mean, Chocomint ain't going to be able to find the kills. So, round goes away of NTHS. They are on 9. Tonka is on 6. And you only got 4 more. You only need 4 more for NTHS to move to a game number 3.
The important opener, especially here, was a first pick. And Reds was able to trade, but with NTHS bringing up that man advantage, it was Tonka having to play so much more consolidated with that lack of the extra rifle they thought they were going to have. Basically over. Now, Reds is going to do something similar that we've seen before, where they're going to go Shorty plus Bladestorm, considering how quickly they've built it up, and look to retrieve a rifle off the back of it. Again, first real rifle round of this half, and it's down to Tonka to pick it up. If they lose it, they're again going to be forced onto a save, and NTHS is going to be more than happy with their economy.
There's too much riding on this for Tonka to not be nervous, and there's the Trailblazer once again. Wasn't able to get around the wall, though, so no real information given. And Tonka are just going to sit and wait. They're saying, hey, we don't want to take that cheese. We don't want to deal with the situation, so let's play it smart. Let's play it slow. And Shadow said, I'll punish you for that one, but that's a hard spray through the box. 1UP is allowed to live only for a mite longer. Tonka Varsity on their gun round have a bit better time here on the attack.
More than happy with that as well, and they just fully back away on the Tonka attack. They re-aggress over towards this B side and are going to be able to get the spike plant. It's down to NTHS to retake, though, and they do have the utility and the weaponry to do so. Granted, only a Bladestorm on their jets, so if they miss the opportunity, they're going to be SOL to understate the obvious. But Tonka are still happy to just back away. Turret set up for information, that's quickly taken care of, but here comes the engagement from NTHS. They drop the alarm bot, Stim Beacon put down, and they want to play forward. Guani picks up one, Red's just the same, but with Reds left alone, they can't do a dang thing. They had to clear out both tower and the close corner of CT. They can't clear out the ladder, and they drop because of it.
Such a good time from Schmoogler as well. This rolling in agent has been middle of the pack. Again, been playing just like I feel a breach would. It's nothing too crazy, but it's been impressive. Again, that Tonka Varsity are coming out with some strong plays here on the attack, and even though it's not super overly sided, it feels nice that Tonka Varsity are, even on this map, feeling okay, feeling steady on their feet, and not completely unpracticed. And maybe that is because they're on the attack side. Their defense looked a little bit weaker.
Attack looking a little cleaner as the guns set in. Trailblazer misses somehow, but Jetstream will still die. The lack of utility landing is relatively inconsequential. Reds is the VIP of this round, though. Flash lands, but the audio cue not there. Chocomint does bring the immediate kill back, so the trade's there. Again, Tonka more than happy with it, and they are able to get the spike plant off the back of it. The NTHS retake already shut down from the dish side. They're going to try and come in from the ropes and main side. Ropes is already seen. Guani is expected to walk through here. This should be a foregone round, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it on this defensive retake. Chocomint able to clean up nicely, and Tonka find another back-to-back.
I mean, we know what happened in game 1. We knew that, hey, we didn't see the scores in the game itself, but we know the end score is 14-12, and we said it, right? It felt like these teams were going to be a heck of close all the way towards the very end. I said it was going to be 6-6 or 7-5. I was wrong. It was 8-4. But it kind of makes up for it. We're now sitting 1 round difference and guns all around to try and make ends meet. NTHS are also buying up heavily. That is going to be an operator. You did see that, right? It's going to be a chance. Let's see if Tonka Varsity can sniff this out, though. On a gun round, you have to be aware that this is a very big option. But where is that op sitting? Is it sitting over here on this far side? Is it going to be on the side of bench? And Arcade, it looks like you were spotted out, though. That is going to be the attacker lockdown.
Lockdown quickly put in, but Tonka isn't quickly going off the back of it. That's a problem. If they take too long, NTHS may be able to bring something back, but Chroma playing quickly is going to sit themselves inside of the smoke and find maybe a double off the back of it. At a bare minimum, picks up a first, and the relay doesn't land, but at least forces NTHS back. Follow-up utility now being used. Orbital strike directly on top of that point will drop Chocomint. 1 extra brought back. A follow-up for information, but Chroma did not have their gun fully ready. Guani with one Jets are a double for themselves, and it's now a 1 versus 3 for Jumbo. It's just not going to happen. NTHS pick up the round and quickly retake the site they barely had control of to start with.
It just felt like everyone on Tonka Varsity got lost inside of the smokes. There was no chance for them to really be able to layer things properly. They were not able to swing in a crossfire angle and let NTHS just pick them off. There was a moment inside of the smoke. I think Tonka literally ran face first into 1UP, and 1UP was like, okay, you're just going to bring me a kill. That's great. Thankfully, Tonka still have their guns out. They are still able to buy out here. So it's another chance. Remember, if NTHS win this one, it feels like a foregone conclusion that they'll be going to a map number 3.
Similar situation. Rolling Thunder into an orbital strike, but it hits absolutely nothing. NTHS is nowhere to be found on the B site and is a similar situation to the previous round. Early ultimates and utility dedicated, but NTHS isn't there. Instead, they have all of their required utility to try and retake, and they're going to try and do so fairly quickly, and they're going to start it off with a lockdown to boot.
I mean, might as well. You're just going to try and catch someone. Unfortunately, it does leave the backsides open. It's not fully covering like Tonka Varsity's one was. But it is going to be a chase in. Take a look at how fast they're moving. Tonka Varsity spreading out very, very quickly. And all these angles are being held, corralling NTHS in. And it looks like they might have done it. Tonka getting a sweep. They can't find 2, though, as 1UP and Glani are able to take 1 apiece. But that's going to be 1UP running straight into the open arms of Jumbo by Mumbo. And they clean house. Chocoman finds Guani. What a turnaround. Tonka Varsity, after losing that previous round, come out with some fire.
And the important part of that is their setup around towards main as well. Chocoment was up there, had Jumbo my Mumbo for support, but the most important part is Jumbo did not swing, instead just sat there with the overgrowth. And while we can see the overgrowth, the opposing team cannot. So the lack of information for NTHS led them to believe that tower was clear. As we saw, it was not. Jumbo my Mumbo picked up a follow-up kill on the rotation forward from 1UP, flashed around the corner, and the swing forward from Chocoment worked out perfectly for him. An important post-plant for Tonka gives them just a 1-round deficit now to come back from.
I mean, this is again Tonka Varsity like, listen, we can't let this go. We can't go on to a game 3. We want to end it here. We want to end it now. And Schmoogler playing very, very far up. This is going to be a chance, and honestly, you go into the range of those shares, you're going to be real happy. But that's a dash right around, and Chroma! What was that dash? You knew they were around the corner, and yet you put yourself in such a dangerous scenario, and Tonka Varsity's ego makes them go into a 2v4 situation.
Going forward, both the stuns landing, and a thrifty round for NTHS. Overcommitment from Tonka, and without information or utility to boot, they just walk straight into a blender. Perfect setup for NTHS. And yeah, you bring up 1 kill, sure, but Chroma overaggressed and again didn't have information. A little bit of a heat check there for NTHS. They bring a round back, but still, it's a buy-up available for Tonka. They will have rifles available.
I mean, thankfully so, but you can see they're working on light armor. They are just hitting the bottom of the barrel right now. And Tonka Varsity, this is oh man, this is going to be a chance. Chroma setting up though. NTHS Esports, they can feel the victory on the back of their hands, or on the front, whichever one. They win one more, they put Tonka into a deficit, and it's going to be NTHS to work, but that's going to be a little bit of hot feet, and that's Chroma forced out into the middle. Jetstream picks him up so easily with a headshot. The blind fire reaches the back of Tonka Varsity. Tonka are left speechless as NTHS clean up, but Chocoman through the smoke, able to find 1. You know what? It's only 1 though, so we'll see if they can do a bit more. 8 HP though, not much to work with.
Yeah, so a 2v4 is certainly possible, but with a combined, what, 88 health? 91 health maybe, including shields? You're looking at a problem for Tonka. They're about to walk into an alarm bot with back-to-back nanoswarms, so Fantonex may very well be evaporated. They will see the first nanoswarm, take out a follow-up turret, and the alarm bot, so 3 of 4 bits of utility all taken care of. Tonka at least have a clear avenue on towards the site as soon as that nanoswarm drops, but the problem is there are 3 players directly outside of it. A spike plant is not safe by any means, and sure, they have utility to work with, and they may very well get that spike down, but the problem is they may not be able to hold it long-term. confirm. Paint Shells will take down Chocomint. That 5 HP comes back to bite them, and Fantonex left alone is quickly taken care of. Good utility combinations, and most importantly, swings together as NTHS go onto map point.
Well, feels like we're going to a map number 3. I mean, this was the best way to close it out. NTHS, they don't make any sudden moves. They don't go a little bit too hard, and Shadow got a great paint shell off, so really making sure the utility works for them. And you can see it here, Bulldogs is scraping by. I mean, you're taking a look, most likely the swarms aren't there for Chocoment. Neon missing out on some of hers, but really all you need is that laser. Still a big question though, Tonka Varsity, they don't want to end it here. They don't want to go to a map 3. They do want to end it here, and they want to put NTHS behind them.
They're looking to avoid the foregone rounds. Chroma, Relay Bolt misses. They may think Jetstream stunned. Instead, they are vulnerable and now quickly taken care of. And they lose that tower control. Jetstream is still fairly happy to sit up top. Red swings for information, and Jetstream swings off the back of it. A 1-for-1 trade on the site, sure, but the orbital strike allowing Reds to now get aggressive from up in tower. Switches out for a rifle, one that has very low ammo, but it's Chocoment left alone. A Bulldog to try and swing the site, but one up quickly drops him, and NTHS makes it a 13-9 second map and will force. No, obviously some of the controllers have fallen out of favor in patches and with recent, well, buffs or nerfs to their specific kit. I think looking at what we have right now isn't too out of the ordinary because the ordinary isn't really set up fully. Single initiator on NTHS side, they're running the Sentinel with double controller, as is Tonka. They're running single initiator with a duelist, Jet versus Raze between the two squads, and then their double controller setup is Viper and Omen rather than the Viper and Astra. I have to say I like both of these compositions for similar reasons, but they have different agents filling in those different roles, and I like to see the diversity we see.
I will always... It's not bad, don't get me wrong, whenever you see the mirror matchups come out, where it's just like the exact same agent lineups all the way through, but there's no expression, right? I like seeing the individuality that a lot of these teams have, and seeing their selections either go awry or go perfectly well. So getting into it again, Tonka Varsity though, I am excited to see what they can do on their attack. I feel like we didn't get to see the full power of themselves, so maybe we get to see it here. I am glad that, again, we are seeing just about everything, right? The Sage coming out on NTHS's side as well. So, you know what? I get my flavor on just about every single part of the team.
Weird setup as well for Tonka, as they are basically fully dedicating themselves towards mid. They have the option to split towards ropes or up towards heaven, but the problem is if they can't get in cleanly, Reds may very well be able to nade them low enough to make these pistols significantly more viable. Looking to set up a guiding light as well as they want to walk forward. Guiding light around the corner misses, but the paint shell's looking to go through, coupled alongside the fault line, and very lucky to be alive is Chocoment. Everybody else on nearly full HP, but it looks like they want to split B and it's going to work out for them.
Honestly, I'm surprised no one on Tonka's side died, and this is, oh my gosh, the fact that you have 2 lows and you still get first blood is ridiculous. 1 up in Reds, though, making a mockery of Chocoment and Schmoogler. Chroma is going to get the plant down, but it's a 4v3 and healthy members on NTHS's side. 1 in low right now. Jumbo ready for someone to walk across. Ghost is going to try and spray and pray as hard as possible, but you see one hop down, and you immediately get sprayed out. Fantonex, though, helps out on the back end, so it's a trade of 1-for-1. 3v1, though, as Jetstream finds the back end, and Shadow makes work of Fantonex. It is NTHS to carry over, and it's a hearty win for the squad that is trying to make a mini reverse sweep here in the finals.
And their playstyle is worked out now into split as well, at least for the pistol round. What they tried to do back on Fracture on the defensive side was if Tonka was trying to quickly engage onto the site and take it as quickly as they could, they would instead back away, force out a lot of early utility from Tonka, and turn it into a round victory later after still having a lot of their utility and, most importantly, their manpower on the retake. That's exactly what happened here. They were able to back away, hold most of their manpower and utility, and then turn it into a round victory in the later stages of the round after the spike was already planted and after Tonka had already prepped themselves in those post-plant positions. Now, in the second round, Tonka, with a significant disadvantage, it's really just pistols up against really the weapons of choice for the NTHS defense.
It's just the minor bargain bins, if you will, or even the save ups here. So Jetstream, knowing this going on, is going to try and hold it down. Single player over there in mid. The rest of NTHS is currently spread out quite heavily. You can see there all the way on screens. It's just one hanging out here, but it is the mid that is going to be lit up like a Christmas tree. Once again, though, no one really dies. And the rest of NTHS have to run for the hills. Shadow able to find Fantonex. It's only going to be one long range, though, all the way in A main. And the rest of Tonka Varsity try and sprint back. They are going to chase into B.
They're going to hold W in towards B, and look, Jetstream's going to back away. They're going to wait for this dark cover to fall and still play patiently for the rest of the team to recuperate as well. One up from CT will find an opening, and that should be the round. There's no easy way for them to discern where this hold lies. They should be able to clear out Heaven. Guwani's going to swing this, find the kill in Heaven. No, it's Jetstream to find the Heaven kill. That should still be it. Guwani finds Chroma as they swing towards main, and NTHS a flawless second round, keeping every single one of their guns over, setting themselves up significantly better for this bonus round.
And I want to give huge shout-outs to 1UP, who, you know, may not be the highest KDA player, but the kills that they do have tend to have some pretty nice impact. You can see here 3-0 to kick things off. But let me remind you, in game number 1, they were unfortunately sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard at 16 and 21 and 11 for their team. And then, of course, in game number 2, same thing, sitting at 13, 12, and 20. So has been a little bit lower on that on those kill ends, but has been masterfully useful. And I really, really like to see them now topping the leaderboards. Gonna see if they can continue on forwards as we do get guns in by Tonka Varsity.
It's available, and it has to be opening kills as well. They cannot afford to give over some of these rifles because NTHS already has a few rifles available. Paranoia will not land, the dark cover only, and NTHS are doing the exact same thing they've done in the previous 2 rounds. Disengage, play for a quick retake with utility available. Wait for them to go in. It is going to be a flurry of frags either in their favor or they will be torn apart almost immediately as they try their aggression.
And of course, it's on NTHS. They have to do once to call it out. Ding goes a little bit of Viper, but that's Schmoogler ready for them to drop down. Chocolate finds Shadow, and Jumbo mows down too. Schmoogler follows things up after watching Guwani take out Chroma. But his forward left alive just as NTHS were able to hang on. Tonka hang on to at least 4.
Setup worked for Tonka that time around. They had the better weaponry, and again, they spaced themselves out just the same. The setup was a little awkward, considering NTHS tried to come in as quickly as they did, but that means they just fell even quicker than they had prior, and the bonus round is lost. Now, full gun round. Similar situation to both halves of our, well, streamed first map, gamed second map, where it's a full gun round that will really determine the scope of this first half.
Tonka Varsity not wanting to make too quick of a move right now. They remember these gun rounds tend to get a bit dicey for them. But for right now, it's just how much util will actually be expended. How much are they going to use? Jumbo realizing that they're caught a little bit in an awkward scenario. NTHS rocking their way back. Tonka Varsity finally deciding on which side they want to go for. Looks like it's a B-side push, but all through garage. This would be a healthy gamble here, especially if you don't spot NTHS's backline killer Guwani, currently hiding all the way back in that little covered area.
Guwani, I think, should be detected with that guiding light landed. They have to swing this. They have to clear it, but they won't. Guwani playing proactive, finds a double, 1-up with the opener as well, and that may very well end up being the round of 2 versus 4. Jumbo's flashed off the angle and is stuck in the close corner, still finds the kill into Reds, but it's left alone on Schmoogler, and Guwani finds a 3K on the round. The proactivity in the back corner gives the Astra a double. The activity in the later stages gives them a 3rd, and the round for NTHS.
I mean, it feels bad because we pointed out that guiding light should have found information on Guwani, and yet there wasn't. Guwani was still allowed to live through that entire round, and it feels like Tonka are a little bit lost here. They seem a little bit confused, at least as to how they want to go around aggressing on this, and now stuck in that same position. They're lining up outside of A. You can see the poison wall going up just to hide their cover and hide their movement. But Jumbo, with the knives out, is going to try and chase in, clear out Heaven, and maybe find a mark or two.
NTHS now playing in odd positions as well. 2 players set up on the catwalk. Jumbo, as soon as that poison or toxic screen, drops, they very well should have, but NT, with Shadow swinging, finds a double of his own. And Jetstream just walking up ropes, a follow-up kill. Schmoogler left alone, reloading and shooting the Marshal in quick tandem with one another. The flashover should make him blind, and the swing should make him dead. It's exactly what happens. NTHS, good recuperation from an odd Tonka varsity setup.
I mean, I think Tonka, they didn't have a choice. They had to go for something. And I do respect teams that do this, especially on a save round. You just go for some crazy stuff. You just try and light up that board as much as possible, and you try and catch your opponent off guard. This time it just didn't work. Tonka knew that NTHS knew that Tonka were going to try something silly, and it worked. But now the guns are out, and this is where things get spicy. You take a look down the road. NTHS currently sitting on 3 ultis of their own, and then only the Seekers for Tonka. NTHS very well could just block off an entire mid rotation if they hear enough guns, and force a rotate out of Tonka to go to either of the sides.
Where does NTHS change, or where are they change? Because Tonka has seemingly not pushed them out of position in any single situation. Poison Cloud towards mid doesn't really gain information, but does force Tonka to disengage at least a little bit. Jumbo, surprisingly, is not seen on that shoulder peek from Guani, and both players will just cross their sides. Kind of like ships passing in the night, but not really. A little difference, I suppose, with the coverage set up, but still a weird hold for NTHS. Their B site is still fairly clean, and that Poison Cloud, well, it's still available if they want to pop it towards mid.
Looks like they're actually going to save it. They're actually going to force a chance out of Tonka, and this is I kind of like these as well. I like saving the ultis until the very end. I just don't like seeing them fully stacked up at the end of the game. You know, I kind of expend them as you go, but Tonka, they're actually going to get a play in town. No one's died on either side. And here's a call. In goes the Rolling Thunder. Locks out a majority share out of Tonka Varsity. And now you get a chase in. That's one up, lighting up Chroma with a beautiful headshot. The rest of NTHS cuddled around this little lineup, and there it is. The mow down behind the spike. Beauty of a job.
That's about the quickest way you can find 4 kills, last time I checked. NTHS quickly dispatching of Tonka again on the attacking side. And I don't think Tonka has really understood NTHS's setup. I will say it for I think the 19th time this stream. NTHS just disengages from the site, allows the spike to go down, holds their utility, holds the man advantage, probably gets away with an opening pick more often than not, and then just fully comes back with a vengeance. On only one occasion has Tonka shut that down, at least thus far this map, and that was back in the bonus round. You'll probably see that in just a couple replays as we run through, but NTHS has shut them down in so many situations. Here's when that retake was finally shut down, and the only situation was when they had better weaponry. NTHS has been so clean to take back a lot of these rounds, and they've been so clinical with how they've done it as well.
I think they've identified that Tonka are not the strongest in retake value. Even when given time, Tonka do not feel comfortable defending against a push, right? Whenever Tonka are in control, they feel in control. They feel like they have a handle on things. But when NTHS allow Tonka to kind of funnel into these sites, especially with ultis up, whenever you have these ultis that can clear out the site, Tonka start to panic a little bit heavily, and now they're currently sitting in a situation where they're sitting on a hero rifle. You can see Jumbo cradling that Vandal. And THS just seem very strong unless Tonka decide to go a little bit crazy, whether it be dropping that Viper Spit along with that lockdown or try a cheeky rotate with that from the shadows. It seems like they're going to have to pull something drastic, and THS are going to be more or less ready for it.
Reds, odd position, especially for them to be in. If they are pushed forward, then they're out of position. Shadow puts on a snakebite, but should be clear in this close corner, and is. But the fallback straight into that snakebite cost Chroma their life. 1-for-1 trade to open things up. It's that Viper for a Sky, though, and Tonka will take that trade, but the worst part is they have the lesser weaponry off the back of it.
You're going to take a chance, though, Reds. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
It feels good. You know that you have the gun advantage, but it just still feels good. And even that, the running shots, I mean, Jetstream lights it up for a full house. And THS, happy-go-lucky here. 6 rounds out of 7 in their name, and they feel confident. This will be, I want to say, the 3rd gun round for Tonka Varsity. If they're not able to win this one is going to hurt. Reds And of course, Jetstream. Just making a trail of blood in their wake. Very nicely done.
What has to change for Tonka Varsity? I mean, naturally, you can quickly take a site, as we've seen them do in, well, of our 7 rounds, 4 or 5. But if you can't hold it, I've been able to do 4 of those 5 rounds. What's the attempt? What do you have to switch up? Naturally, you have to pick up opening duels, but you can't afford to let yourself just fall onto a site without forcing out either utility or manpower from NTHS. There has to be more time available for yourselves. Odd Cosmic Divide now set up, but a lockdown now to retort. And NTHS is happy with that. They, again, will just disengage. Wow, surprise, surprise. They back away from a site? I can't believe it.
They're just so happy about it. And you were talking a little bit about what Tonka have to do, and my opinion, just go a little bit crazier and be a little bit more ready for these retakes, be a little more head on a swivel, or back all the way out. Make it in your advantage again. If you want to be in control, let NTHS then get on the site. Try and work your way out. Yes, that's difficult, don't get me wrong, but at this point, you've exhausted most of the other options. You've exhausted sitting inside. Just like that, that's a rocket to the face, and you can see it when corralled. Tonka just get annihilated. They stand almost no chance. And Fantonex, this is gonna be easy. NTHS have Tonka's number.
Jetstream almost died there to a combination of the Poison Cloud and the Snake Bite. Poison Cloud doesn't immediately drop when the Viper does. It takes about a second and a half or so for all of you who are playing ranked on a consistent basis. But NTHS still happy with it. They find the Brazil. 7-1 to open up split. And they're looking clean as ever as well. The second half of Fracture was a little chaotic for them. The first half, obviously, the 8-4 was better, but in the later stages, they weren't able to close things out as cleanly. That's seemingly no longer the case here, especially on the early stages of split.
And I feel that's attributed, number one, to 1UP. 1UP is looking like a great show here, and I'm excited to see how far they go, but on the other side, taking a look at Tonka's squad, we're still kind of waiting, right, for Chroma, for Jumbo to really light up those feeds again. And remember, to the best of my knowledge, Jumbo actually went 29 frags in game number 1. And this time around, it is sitting about middle of the pack. So I want to see them kind of wake back up. It feels like their spirits are kind of crumbled here as they're trying to find their balance again, trying to find their own kind of coordination, their pacing of the game. And I know it's a hard ask. I know it's very difficult, but you gotta find it in you. You cannot sit there and just kind of take these beatings, or else you will not make it. Again, this is the finals. You don't want to give up here.
Remember, they're just winning this map away from going to LAN in just shy of a month, and yet NTHS does not want to send them there. Schmoogler takes a little bit of damage, of which is considerable later on, but Shadow, I believe, seeing both players, should be a double swing from each. Now it's just Shadow walking straight through. Schmoogler is stunned, put inside of that toxic screen, and then dies well inside of it. NTHS, another clean finish. All 5 players stay alive, a flawless round for them, and Tonka have no response with lesser than just full rifles.
It's time to try one more time. That's really what it is, and I love this replay here. This, again, I believe this is the second time that Guani's kind of been hiding out in that back alley. And it's been phenomenal. It's been so good. And Tonka are just not reading it properly. They've had opportunities. They've had opportunities to kind of suss out and feel out wherever NTHS is. And yet the rotations are doing work, and Tonka are not adjusting properly. They're taking things a little bit too slow. At this point, you can see it. They're trying to hide. They're trying to understand. Jetstream, they know is there. But do they spot the other angle? Do they know about the vent play?
I don't think so. I think this is a similar situation where they have to push in as a team, and if they can't pick up an opening kill, they're looking at a few problems. We'll go through. That comes from the stairs of heaven. But just like that, Tonka back away for a few extra seconds. It is an odd split. It seems like they want to try and go towards A, but the problem is there's a significant lack of control on both sides for them. They want to go towards heaven. There's still 2 players waiting for them to walk through. 1UP sees the information. The swing from heaven, though, there's a return. At least 1 kill back, but Shadow finds the A lurk, and that's a problem now solved for NTHS.
Tonka just look Tonka just look very, very lost right now, and that's
Wow.
going to make it even worse. One up, just hard spraying through the smoke. There was no thoughts behind it. You didn't hear footsteps or anything. You were just like, I got word that they walked up this way. Let's put them back that way. And Tonka are just like, what the heck just happened? Where did they hear us? Where did they see us? And one up again. That's another. And Chuckleman at least gets a little bit of revenge, but Reg just barrel stuffed Choco.
It looked like Reds just Goomba stomped him with the shorty. That was
that's what I thought as well.
I was like, wow, okay, that's a jump scare. Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's Valorant Edition, where Reds does that to you after blast packing off of heaven, because why not? This is bad, to understate the obvious for Tonka. Their attacking side, I'm not going to say has seemed lackluster. It has seemed like it was left back on Fracture. This is a few extra problems for them that they still do not have the solutions to. And this is the final 2 rounds of the half. We saw a couple buy-ups from them. They don't have money. If they lose this round, they're broke into the final round of this first half of play.
That is terrifying. I know it's weighing on Tonka's mind, so let's see what they can do. Jetstream has posted up in this angle at least 60 to 70% of the time. Jumbo throws out a knife and misses. With that information, you know Jumbo is just trying to play on their own, full-on solo queue mode, and you know what? Maybe that's what you need. Jumbo clears out 1 and B, but Shadow, hiding in Guani's shadow, annihilates that return, and that is B site locked off. Pit is down, so A side is up, and Red shuts him down again. Jetstream gets a revive on Guani. It's up to a 5v3.
Oh, and the Viper's Pit being used on A, that may very well be the saving grace. And a shot from Chroma, the spray straight through that Viper's Pit doesn't fully land, but at a bare minimum does some damage. Fantanex, with the recent patches, cannot play on the outside of their Viper's Pit for too long, or it runs the risk of falling. It almost does, actually, as it looks to now dissipate, but it will hold for the time being. Aftershock being used over towards Hell, and the spray straight through that Poison Cloud may very well determine this final round of the first half. A Rolling Thunder throwing everybody out into the center, and that smoke that kept Chroma alive is no longer up. NTHS dropping Tonka and lose 1 player on the retake, and that 1 player was dropped in the early stages of that spike being planted. NTHS, one of the cleaner retakes we've seen in HSEL thus far, and it was onto an almost fully armored Tonka with a Viper's Pit no less.
I mean, this is the one shiny moment, right? Jumbo had a phenomenal shot, so did Chroma. And then after that, it was just a bit downhill from there. And look at that. 1 up once again at 14 frags. And I also want you to take a look at that, at the way that the rounds have been won, NTHS. That is so many defusals. I have not seen more before. That is a ridiculous amount of defusal rounds won. And it's just, again, that leans into this. NTHS, they've got the number on Tonka. They're not sorry about that one. So Tonka, I don't think they're going to look for a quick plant. I would assume they're going to start taking a look for those angles. Yeah, there it is. The snapshot on the Shadow. Drops him down to about 70 HP, and you know it is a little something, but you jump straight out of the smoke right into the open arms, and Shadow just reaps the benefits.
The problem is you also jumped out with very little HP, the Poison Cloud decaying you, and that Snake Bite vulnerabling you, if that's an adverb, I suppose. Reds just swings into a double kill at that. There's another player sitting around towards the ramp, but they apparently don't care. From the Shadows now being used over towards Heaven, but Guani playing another rat setup, waiting in towards this B main position. They've done this before. Throwback a lot of time ago, and Schmoogler's going to look to play out in the open. They may very well get this plant down, but the problem is there's no way they expect Guani to still hold for long term. It seems like Fantanex is still worried about it. They have support from the Omen behind, but NTHS need to retake, and they need to retake now.
I mean, they got 4. They're just waiting for the others to get into position. Take a look on the top side of that screen. Over there in Alley, they're going to wait. Shadow gets 1. Reds follows up, and it's done. Just that easy. NTHS are 2 rounds away from claiming the HSEL Central Grand Finals.
Switching sides.
And remember, Map 1 was 14-12. Minnetonka won that. Map 2 was 13-9. The total round differential between these two teams was 2. And it was barely 2 heading into this third map. The round differential now is still in favor of NTHS, but is now plus 12. Assuming it ends 13-1, it'll end plus 14. And they've just run away with things. In the later, 15 rounds of play, including the 12 of regulation here in the first half of Split, they just have not shown any signs of weakness. And it's not particularly Tonka making mistakes either. It is NTHS reading their holds to near perfection, and them any breathing room in really any of these situations either.
That really is the best way to put it. It's Tonka are trying. They are not trying. They are trying to win these rounds, but when every single attempt you throw out there gets snapped shut, when you run straight into a brick wall, what is it now, 11 times? I mean, there's not much else you can say, right? It breaks you down after a while. So NTHS, they're looking to put the final nails in the coffin here. That's just a hard chase straight through vents. The hopping, look at that. The shells work their magic.
What?
Red does it again. Goomba stomps them all the way back to the gray screen.
That may very well be the map as a whole. That should at least be the pistol round. They do find one kill back. Chroma brings one the other way as Minotaur do indeed make it a 4v3. Chroma sitting inside of that poison cloud, Decayed fairly low, and Shadow will find the headshot to shut them even further down. Schmoogler now needs to clear that and look at the close left corner of screens as well. If they walk too far forward, their first round of the second half is over, and it seems like it is already a foregone conclusion. They have to clear out Heaven, Main, with 3 players all sitting around this close corner. There's a swing towards Gawani. Information sure, but the fault line lands. Gawani finds the opener onto Chocomint, and Shadow will B-hop their way into a right-click with a classic, and NTHS now have 11 attempts to close out Split and subsequently the conference.
I mean, Reds is on a tear. Reds is kind of pissed off that 1UP is currently at the top of the scoreboard and is like, nah, we gotta rectify this like right now, please. There it is, of course. Shadow now topping the board at 16, 6, and 6. And you can see there, Schmoogler as well as Chocolate. They know this is their last chance. They know it's a difficult time, and they're rocking out with those stingers. Light them up, sting them proud, and it's a hard rush from Tonka. In they chase, and it's going to be met with fire.
Firefight over towards this B-side. Quick swing from Jetstream, though. Proactivity working out perfectly here for NTHS. The walk through, though. Jetstream runs out of ammo. Problem is, so does Schmoogler. A 1 versus 4 here for Jumbo My Mumbo if they want to bring this round back. A spike plant, almost a guarantee. A flank is the last hope here for the Jet, as it looks like NTHS may very well close out this conference final in quick fashion.
Oh man,
that's
that's it. That's GG NTHS Esports. Are